Sagittarius, welcome to your astrology reading for the month of October. So before I jump into this is going to be most applicable for your rising sign. So it's the sign that rules your first house. It's also known as your ascendant. That is how other people perceive you, especially when they first meet you. It's still applicable for your sun sign, which is how you express yourself. It's what you need in order to feel satisfied in life. And then your moon sign, which is how you process everything internally through that emotional lens. And so kicking off the month right here, I mean, we've got a lot going on. And we start off with an eclipse. And so we're in the process of closing out the Aries Libra eclipse season. We're moving into Pisces Virgo. And we did just have a full moon in the sign of Pisces. So that was really kind of our first taste at what this was going to be like. And so kind of focusing here on the eclipse for a second. Eclipses are fated events in our life. These are things that are meant to happen. And so there's really... I'm going to say this, and I have not said this in other readings, but I just get the sense that I need to. So if you're somebody who sets new moon intentions, don't do it for this one. Skip it. Just because you don't want to do that during an eclipse. There's a lot of energy already. It's already kind of a new moon amplified. You don't really want to add to that mix. So this one here, it is an annual solar eclipse. It does happen on the 2nd at 2:49 in the afternoon Eastern time. I'm not sure I said that. But with this new moon in the sign of Libra, this is sitting in your 11th house of friends. So think of like your group of friends, your tribe, all that. And so because the sun and the moon are at the same degree point in the sky, it's an overlapping of energy. So the way that you're expressing yourself with your friends, the way that you feel about your friendships, all fully aligned here. And in fact, the sun and moon will also conjunct Mercury in the sign of Libra. So this means that these conversations that you're having, everything is very balanced, very harmonious. It is a really positive energy. Love to see all of that coming into play here. The only challenging aspect during this new moon, this eclipse, is the sun and moon will square Mars in the sign of Cancer. And so Cancer for you is in your 8th house of transformation. It's other people's money. It could be some sort of debt, inheritance, spouse's income. There's a lot that's kind of embodied in that 5th house. And so feeling balanced with your friends, it's creating some sort of obstacle or challenge. So if you're trying to take some sort of action, maybe connected to the money that you make, your spouse's income, the money that you're trying to pay, like any kind of mortgage or something like that, you can kind of see where this is going. So maybe your balanced time with friends involves spending some money, and now you're trying to do something else connected to money. So that's where a square energy would come into play here. It's an energy that you can work through, absolutely work through. You just have to put the effort in. And then on the 8th, we have Venus trine Mars. So that's going to happen at 6:21 in the morning Eastern time. And so Venus is in the sign of Scorpio. We have Mars in the sign of Cancer. And we actually have both Neptune and Saturn retrograde in the sign of Pisces. And they form a triangle. And so this is a really easy flow of energy. All these planets are having really nice, harmonious, easy flowing conversations. No extra effort is needed. And so what this means for you is Venus in Scorpio is in your 12th house. So this is like kind of like a really deep internal passion that you might have, feeling very loyal to yourself, just embodying that kind of, this is who I am. I love who I am. It's a very transformational type of energy. And it's easily going to flow with whatever action that you want to take to transform yourself. Or this could, again, be connected to the money that you make, the money that you pay out here. The Pisces energy is sitting in your 4th house of home. And so what does your ideal home life look like? What kind of work are you doing within your home? Do you actually work from home? That could be connected because we are talking about 4th house. We've got 8th house in there. So if you work from home and you make money out of your home from working from home, then all of this really, really easy blend of energy fully aligns with the way that you feel about yourself, the way that you're expressing yourself really on the inside, because that is that inner you. It's you away from the public eye as well. It's a really, really positive transit here. And then we do have Venus in Scorpio opposite Uranus retrograde in Taurus. And so this just indicates here, because Taurus is the opposite sign of Scorpio, these deep, intense feelings, like kind of being passionate and loyal when it comes to who you are, it's going to be opposite to any kind of changes that are happening in your daily routines. And it's more of, I really like where I am. In fact, I love where I am. I love what's happening in my life right now. And so I don't want anything to change, but something here is changing. And so this is where it's that push-pull type of energy. You can work through it. You just have to find a way. And then we have Jupiter station retrograde in the sign of Gemini. So that's going to happen on the 9th at 3:04 in the morning Eastern time. Gemini for you is in your house of partnerships. So this is your significant other if you're married, your long-term relationship, living with the person. It's usually more of that kind of higher level commitment. Jupiter is the ruler of your sign, but it's in your opposing sign. So it's actually at its weakest point right now, but it's still abundant. There's still positivity connected to it. And so it's been sitting in your house of relationships. And so retrograde indicates that all of that abundance that you might have been seeing outward is now directed inward. And so these changes that are happening are within you in regard to maybe how you see the relationship, what you want within that relationship, what kind of growth do you want within the relationship, really getting down into the details here. When Jupiter stations retrograde, it will trine the sun in Libra. And so the way that you feel and what you're trying to do within your relationship, really grow that relationship, it's going to easily blend with your friendships, the way that you're expressing yourself with your friends, being very balanced and very even, just that kind of steady, not trying to rock the boat, not trying to create any drama here. It's actually going to trine with Mercury in Libra as well. So it's not even just the way that you're expressing yourself. It's also the content of the conversations that you're having. It's the way that you're understanding those conversations, like really understanding what people mean, that if they say something, instead of taking it in a negative way, you're going to take it from how they truly mean it type of energy. And then we have Jupiter retrograde in Gemini, sextile Chiron retrograde in Aries. And so if you have some sort of wound connected to childhood, or could be something connected to your passion projects, things like that, like you have this fear of public speaking, but you want to be a singer. Something along those lines. It would be maybe people told you that you weren't capable of it, or maybe you didn't have a great voice. Like anything could be this wound. This wound could encompass a lot of different things. The fifth house energy is the house of fun. So it's all the things that you enjoy doing outside of work. And so there's some sort of wound that might be holding you back in that area. It's been coming to the surface for a while. But this transit indicates that whatever internal growth you're looking for in that significant relationship in your life, it's creating some sort of opportunity to take some sort of action to heal the wound. And Jupiter retrograde in Gemini will square Saturn retrograde in Pisces. And so this kind of internal growth that you're looking for in your significant relationship, it is going to create some sort of obstacle or challenge to any kind of work that you're doing on your ideal home life. And so if your ideal home life was to keep things even, you can kind of see where there would be a friction point there, because you're trying to grow and expand this relationship. So that means that something here would have to change in your home. And so it's an obstacle or a challenge. It's not that difficult of an energy to work with. You just have to put the effort in. A square is very much like a Saturn type of energy. You just have to really work at it to make it happen. And it's going to be the same thing. This Jupiter retrograde in Gemini is going to square Neptune retrograde in Pisces. And so when you think about your ideal life, not just the work that you're doing, but in general, what does your home life look like? What do you want it to look like? This could even be a physical location. Where is your dream home? And so if you're growing a relationship that doesn't allow you to move to a location where your dream home exists, that would be some sort of obstacle or challenge. And then we have Jupiter retrograde in Gemini opposite the moon in Sagittarius. And so this is I'm trying to grow and expand my relationship here, and it's going to be opposite how I feel about myself. So it's a lot of, instead of taking action for yourself, taking action as it relates to you and another person. And then we have Pluto station direct in the sign of Capricorn. So that's going to happen on the 11th at 8:32 in the evening Eastern time. Capricorn is all about structure. So we're not new to this. Pluto has been in Capricorn for a long time. And in fact, this is the last time that we will see Pluto in Capricorn in our life. It will move on to Aquarius next month, and it will stay there for roughly 20 years. It takes a while to move through the signs. Pluto is a planet of transformation. And so for you, this is sitting in your second house of personal finances, including the money that you already have, the investments that you make. This would be the things that you have that you value, like collectibles. If you collect anything that's of value, all of that would be part of that second house energy. And so there's some sort of structure around your money that needs to change. And you would have gotten a glimpse of this because when Pluto moved into Aquarius, Aquarius doesn't like any kind of strategy. Capricorn likes structure and strategy. Aquarius says, no, I'm the rebel. Let's tear it down. Let's break it down. Let's make it more flexible. And so it came back, Pluto came back into your second house with kind of the knowledge and experience, at least somewhat of that Aquarius energy. And so this is kind of that last go around. What do you really need to keep as it relates to your saving and spending habits? What needs to change? Change being the key word. When Pluto stations direct in the sign of Capricorn, it will conjunct the moon in Aquarius. And so this just means it's going to fully align with how you feel, the way that you're communicating with other people. You might even be having conversations around your finances and the structure of your finances, putting something here into place. Pluto in Capricorn will trine Uranus retrograde in Taurus. And so these changes in your finances and the structure of your finances, it's going to easily flow with whatever changes are happening in your daily routines, in your daily life. So all fully aligned there. Pluto in Capricorn will sextile Neptune retrograde in Pisces. And so these changes in your financial structures will create some sort of opportunity for you to have the home that you want. That's that Neptune retrograde in Pisces. So get really clear on what it is, but also kind of realistic, because when Neptune stationed retrograde, Neptune direct, I mean, you could have dreams that are just so high up there that they could never become reality. But when Neptune went retrograde, it was opening up our eyes to what those dreams really were. How do we ground them in reality? What modifications do we need to make to those dreams? And so this is giving you an opportunity to really get clear on exactly what you want at home, or maybe a physical location. What do you want at home, in a home, location, all of it. Pluto in Capricorn will square Mercury in the sign of Libra. And so these changes that are happening to your financial structure, it's going to create some sort of obstacle or challenge to having any kind of balanced conversation with your friends right now. And it just seems like more time is being spent on your savings, as opposed to maybe doing something here with friends, or like going out having these conversations with your friends. Pluto in Capricorn will square Chiron retrograde in Aries. And so thinking back to that childhood wound or some sort of wound connected to things that you really enjoy doing. Whatever is changing in your personal finances, whatever that structure is, it's creating some sort of obstacle or challenge to take any kind of action to heal that wound. And I can see this in an instance where if your wound is connected to some sort of hobby where you need to spend money, that would definitely create a challenge, because you're trying to make some changes to the way that you save money or the way that you spend money. Something is changing here with your saving and spending habits. And so I can see where if your hobby involved money, it could be a problem. And then we have Pluto in Capricorn opposite Mars in Cancer. This one here, because it's second house, eighth house energy. So these changes that are happening in your personal finances are going to be opposite whatever action you're trying to take, whether it's connected to the money that's coming in, the money that you pay out as far as debt is concerned, anything here that is really meant for your transformation, because that eighth house is a death and rebirth. And so it's going to be an opposite. We have the planet of death and rebirth opposite the house of death and rebirth. And so that's a lot of change that's taking place. And it's more of like, which one's the priority right now? Well, it's the Pluto energy. That's the one that's going to be the priority. So you can figure out a way to find and make it all balanced. You just have to work with it. And then we have Mercury enter Scorpio. So that's going to happen on the 13th at 3:24 in the afternoon Eastern time. And so Mercury in Scorpio, this is like really deep, intense conversations, very passionate conversations here. The way that you're expressing yourself, it's going to be coming from the inside. Scorpio is that 12th house energy. So you may not be outwardly expressing yourself, maybe not directly. This could be a lot of the way that you understand things, because again, it is your inner self. So this could be the way that you're processing information. You're really looking at it through that kind of passionate, loyal, intense, transformative type of lens here. And Mercury in Scorpio will conjunct the sun in the sign of Libra. And so the way that you're understanding things and maybe even communicating, it's going to fully align with that balance that you see within your friendships, the way that you're expressing yourself with your friends. This does indicate that you're very passionate, very loyal when it comes to your group of friends here. Mercury in Scorpio will trine the moon in Aquarius. And so these kind of intense, transformative conversations are going to easily flow with how you feel about the way that you communicate, that you have kind of this like free energy in the way that you communicate, because Aquarius is a very liberating, very freeing type of energy, and it's in your house of communication here. So we have the planet of communication fully aligned with the house of communication. And then we have Mercury in Scorpio, Trine, Jupiter retrograde in Gemini. And so these kind of transformative, deep, intense conversations, or maybe the way that you're understanding things, it's going to easily flow with whatever changes you want to happen in your relationship, your marriage, your significant other, that significant relationship here. Mercury in Scorpio will square Mars in the sign of Cancer. And so these kind of transformative conversations, or just maybe the way that you're understanding everything, it's going to create some sort of challenge. If you're trying to take some sort of action related to the money that you earn, the debt that you have to pay, or maybe just changing something in general, this is where it's going to create some sort of challenge. Mercury in Scorpio will also square Pluto in Capricorn. And so these kind of transformative conversations, again, or the way that you're understanding everything, it's going to create some sort of challenge here to the changes that are happening to your financial structure. It's a lot of, Scorpio is a very loyal energy. So when Scorpio, and you know this, if you know any Scorpios in your life, my Venus is in Scorpio, and this is absolutely true, that when you make up your mind and you decide that this person is worth investing in, that this person deserves to be in my orbit, I want to be around this person, then that's it. You're loyal. You're loyal until they give you a reason not to be. It's that kind of energy. And so whatever you feel on the inside, it's like, well, I don't want to change. I've already accepted this. I love this about me. I want it to be this way. And so now you can see, well, if I love everything about me, why would I want to change it? That's that square Pluto energy. That's the obstacle and challenge. Something is changing within your financial structure, and it's creating an obstacle or challenge to change something because you don't necessarily want it to. And then we have the full moon in the sign of Aries. So that's going to happen on the 17th at 7:26 in the morning Eastern time. And so when this happens, because this is, you've got the sun, you've got the moon, they're at opposite points in the sky. The sun is in Libra, so really balanced expression. The moon is in Aries. I feel like I need to take some sort of action, feeling independent, that kind of energy. It's a push-pull. So it's a lot of we with that Libra versus me with that Aries. And so this is for you in the 11th house and 5th house. The 11th house energy, again, feeling very balanced when it comes to your friendships, expressing yourself in that way, versus feeling like you want to do something, be independent with your passion projects, with children, something like that. And you can kind of see where it's that push-pull. If you've got free time and you've got children and you've got friends, where do you want to spend your time? That would be the opposing energy, assuming that they wouldn't be together for some reason. But again, that would be a way to work through it. You would actually bring them all together and maybe have a party out of your house, something like that. Just like we see with any full moon, we have the sun and the moon having different conversations with the planets. And so some are good, some not so good, but this one, there's a mix. So with the sun in Libra, it will be opposite Chiron retrograde in Aries. And so because Chiron is in Aries near the moon, so I'll start with the moon. The way that you feel about children and your hobbies, your passion projects, fully aligns with whatever action that you want to take in order to heal that wound, because you do feel really good about that. And that is going to be opposite to feeling balanced with your friends. We have the sun in Libra, trine Jupiter retrograde in Gemini. And so feeling balanced, expressing yourself in a really balanced way with your friends, it's going to easily blend with whatever you want to do to grow and expand your significant relationship here. The moon in Aries will sextile Jupiter retrograde in Gemini, which means how you feel about children, hobbies, things like that. It's going to create some sort of opportunity here for you to grow that significant relationship, your marriage, long-term partner, that kind of relationship. And then we actually have a T-square happening here. So we have the sun in Libra square Mars in Cancer, and we have the moon in Aries square Mars in Cancer. And so feeling and expressing yourself in a really balanced way with your friends is going to create some sort of obstacle or challenge that relates to your transformation. That Mars in Cancer is in your 8th house. That is the death and rebirth house. It's also the money that you earn. There is, it's the money going out. If you have a mortgage, things like that, all that's part of that 7th house energy. And so feeling balanced with your friends, it's just going to prevent you from taking any action related to that area of your life. how you feel about children and your passion projects is also going to create obstacles and challenges to taking any kind of action in that area of your life. And then we have the sun and moon both in a square with Pluto and Capricorn. And so this here, feeling balanced with your friends, it's going to create some sort of obstacle or challenge as it relates to the money that you have, those structures, those spending and savings habits that you're trying to modify here. And what you're seeing is that there's squares to both maybe the money that you earn and the money that you have, the bills you pay out versus the money that you have. And so you can kind of see where this is all going, where it's both the balancing that you experience with your friends and then how you feel about children and your passion projects and hobbies, the things that you do for fun. They're both creating obstacles and challenges as it relates to your personal finances or the money that's coming in or going out. And then we have Venus enter your sign. So that's going to happen on the 17th, same day as the full moon, just later in the day, at 3:29 p.m. Eastern time. And so, I mean, you're a Sag, you know, optimism. This is a very fun-loving, adventurous type of energy. Perpetual student is definitely one of the words I would use to, or I guess one of the phrases for Sagittarius. But Venus in this house, so Venus likes to bring things together. It rules relationships. It wants harmony. It wants balance. It rules both Taurus and Libra. And so in the sign of Sagittarius, this is really focused on what do you value about yourself? What do you love about yourself? What do you want to keep about yourself? And that's going to easily flow with whatever action that you want to take. That Mars in Cancer energy. What action do you want to take to transform? What do you want to maybe get rid of? Because Mars does like to get rid of things. Does it relate to the money coming in or the money coming out, going out, whatever it is? So an easy blend of energy here. This Venus in Sagittarius is also going to trine Neptune retrograde in Pisces. And so what you love about yourself here, it's going to easily flow with your ideal home or home life. Venus in Sagittarius will sextile Pluto in Capricorn. And so what you love about yourself creates an opportunity for you to make changes to the way that you save money or spend money. Venus in Sagittarius will also be opposite Uranus or retrograde in Taurus. And so what you love about yourself is going to be different. It's going to be opposite, so opposite sides of any kind of changes that are happening to your daily routines. So it's almost like you don't want those changes to happen, but something here is changing. And so it's just, that is where it's not aligned with what you value about yourself. And then we have the sun enter the sign of Scorpio. So that's going to happen on the 22nd at 6:15 in the evening Eastern time. And so the sun in Scorpio is going to be in your 12th house. So again, your inner self, kind of you away from the public. Just again, like if you live alone, it would be that kind of time that you spend away from everybody else. So the sun in Scorpio here, this is a lot of transformation. Scorpio is a very transformative kind of energy. The way that you're coming across, or maybe the way that you're experiencing things here, would be very different than what you've done before. This is very transformative. The sun in Scorpio will trine Jupiter retrograde in Gemini. And so the way that you're understanding things right now, it's going to easily flow with whatever you're trying to do to grow your significant relationship. Your marriage partner, if you're married, that significant other. And then we have the sun in Scorpio square Pluto in the sign of Capricorn. And so again, this kind of transformation that's happening within you, the way that you're experiencing everything right now, it's going to create some sort of challenge to whatever changes you're making in your personal finances. So this would be kind of your spending and savings habits. If there are other changes that are taking place, it's going to create some sort of challenge there. And it has a lot to do with there's transformation, kind of a transformative energy that's happening within you. And so because it's happening within you, there's other transformation outside of you that just seems to be creating obstacles and challenges. It's like you can only do so much at a time. You can only focus on one area that's transforming at a time. It's that kind of energy. And then the sun in Scorpio will square Mars in the sign of Cancer. So Mars in Cancer is in a transformational house. And so when you think about what's happening within you, this kind of transformative self-expression, whatever's changing within you, it's going to create some sort of obstacle or challenge to making other changes in your life. But because of the square to both the second house and the eighth house here, this could absolutely be connected to money as well. So the money that you earn, the debt that you're trying to pay down, all of those things, your spending and savings habits, all of it. And then we have the Sun in Scorpio, opposite Chiron, retrograde in Aries. And so this transformative self-expression is going to be contrary to healing that childhood wound or taking any kind of action there. And it has a lot to do, again, with you're changing something that is internal to you. And so the emphasis is on internal you, not external things that you want to do. And then we end the month with a really positive, on a positive note here. So on Halloween at 8:33 p.m. Eastern Time, so 31st, we have Mercury trine Neptune. So Mercury in Scorpio is sitting in your 12th house. So again, thinking about that kind of transformation, the way that you're understanding things on the inside here, it's going to easily blend with your ideal home life. Neptune retrograde in Pisces. Mercury in Scorpio will also trine Mars in Cancer because we're back to that triangle again. And so what kind of action do you want to take that leads to growth? What kind of action do you want to take that is transformative as it relates to maybe the money that you earn? How does that relate to your home life? All of these things really kind of flow together. So Neptune retrograde, same thing. This is your home life, easily flows with whatever you're trying to do from the money that you earn or maybe other changes that you want to happen within your life here with that eighth house energy. We also have Mercury in Scorpio, sextile Pluto in Capricorn. So it's not just about the money that you're earning. The way that you're understanding, and it could even be conversations that you're having that are very different, they're going to create an opportunity for you to make changes to your spending and savings habits. Now this one here, not the easy flow of energy that we saw with the trine. This is one that you're going to have to seize the opportunity and make those changes, but it's going to be there for you to do. And then we have Neptune retrograde in Pisces, also sextile Pluto in Capricorn, which again, your ideal home life, you could be saving for a home at this point because we are getting a lot of that fourth house, second, eighth house kind of energy. So the money you have, the money you make, a house maybe you want to buy. There's a lot of things that are happening here that all really kind of play off each other really nicely. And so your ideal home life is going to create some sort of opportunity for you to make changes in the way that you save money or spend money. We do have Mercury in Scorpio opposite Uranus retrograde in Taurus. And so these transformative conversations, or again, maybe the way that you're just interpreting everything here, it's going to be opposite any kind of changes that are happening in your daily routines. It's again, kind of like your inner versus your outer world, that kind of energy. And then we have Neptune retrograde in Pisces will sextile Uranus retrograde in Taurus. So your ideal home life here is actually going to create some sort of opportunity for you to make changes in your daily routines. And your daily routines would be the things that you do on a regular basis. Like if you go to school, have a job, whatever that normally looks like. It's not like the one-off parties that you go to. It's what you do on a regular basis. It's not your day in and day out. You don't have the exact same routine every day. But I like that it's creating an opportunity there because you can kind of see your home life and your daily routine, really nice combination. And then we have Neptune retrograde in Pisces, square Jupiter retrograde in Gemini. And so your ideal home or home life here, it is going to create some sort of obstacle or challenge to growing something within your marriage or your significant relationship here. But again, it's a square. You can work through this energy. It's not going to be completely detrimental. You've had a lot of positive as it relates to that relationship. And now it just seems like maybe you're focused here on money and doing something with a home versus actually focused on that relationship. So Sagittarius, this is your reading. I hope it resonates. If it did, please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Take care.